Hi, this is Carrie Rhodes with CarrieStamps.com. Today I'm going to show you how to make this cute little backpack with the gift bag punch board. Let me show you how it opens up here. And it has a little pocket on the front that opens as well. Right, so the gift bag punch board looks like this. And you use it to make gift bags, or in this case, a backpack. So you want to take a 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock and cut it down one side at 6 inches and save this piece. We're going to use that to make a flap. And then I'll have a video link below so you can see how to use the envelope punch board. And we're going to make our bag this way. Okay, so pretty much what you do is you put your paper in, you're going to punch and use this handy dandy scoring tool that comes with it, stores in it, I love that, and we're going to make a medium size box. So you're going to score on the medium line, you scoot the medium line over, you punch, you score on the side line, you score your gusset, and you're also going to score the back. Then we're going to stamp this. And the stamp set that I'm using is the Project Life Seasonal Snapshots stamp set in the holiday catalog. And I'm going to use this zigzag image and my new Archival basic black stamp pad. It's a felt pad, so it's really firm on the top, which is different than our classic pads. And this black ink is truly black. So you're just going to continue stamping like that. I'm just stamping on either side of all the scored lines. This. And then we're going to trim off this little piece right here that we don't need. And so normally I would cut it like this, but for this backpack, we actually need to trim off a little bit more. Because we have some straps that will get in the way if we don't, and then just a little bit off that side. Then you're going to want to make sure you fold on all of your score lines really nicely so the box goes together well. And before we assemble it, it's really important that we go ahead and punch some holes. And we're going to use a 1/8 of an inch punch, and I'm just going to use my pencil and kind of eyeball where I want those holes to be. It's not one of those super crucial things that you need to measure out. And then you just have a spot to line up with your punch. Okay, so make sure when you do that you're punching the one that doesn't have this extra flap. Next thing we're going to do is put our straps in. And our straps happen to be this black satin stitched ribbon. You can see I've tied a knot at one end of my 9-inch piece of ribbon. The other end I've made really pointy so I can feed it through that punched hole nicely. Okay, so 2 pieces at 9 inches. And then we just have to let those hang out there. We're going to do nothing with them for now. Then we can go ahead and glue our box. And this is why we had to cut that so sharp, is so it doesn't get in the way of that knot right there. Okay, I like to put my box together with green glue. Well, that's what me and my group call it. It's really multi-purpose liquid glue. And make sure you're just using a tiny bit. A little bit goes a long way. And then that knot is out of the way. It's going to go to the side while we do this. So press that together. It's going to make a nice strong hold for you. We're just going to put a little bit on each corner. Fold that in, and a little bit across here. And then the reason why I like to use the green glue is because then I can get this squared up. I have a minute to wiggle it around, and then I use my bone folder down in the box so I can really press that and make sure it's stuck. Okay, there's that. Now remember that extra flap strip we had from cutting our cardstock? We're going to cut that down, and this is going to be the flap for our top of our backpack. This is a 3 1/8 by 2.5 inch piece of paper, and I scored it at 1.5. And then you can see, if I hold this close, maybe you can see here I have little marks where I measured in 1 inch. Then I flipped it and I measured in 1 inch. Okay, those are important for some holes we're going to do. Right, so we're going to bring back in our envelope punch board. We're going to line up the edge of our paper with the start line, and you can see the bigger side is going in the punch. Once we have that lined up, we're going to give it a punch. We're going to flip it, do the same thing on the other side. And see, now we have this nice rounded flap. And we'll get rid of those. Then we're going to want to stamp the edge of that with the same image we used on the backpack. Right along that edge. Then we'll go ahead and use these little marks that I've scored out at 1 inch and punch those with my 1/8 of an inch circle punch. Okay, and then again, I like to trim this. We don't need that excess. Sometimes when you're making a box, those corners just get in the way. All right, so what we need is this little piece. It's about 3.5 inches. I've made sure I cut both ends with an angle. And then before I stick that in there, I'm going to put some fast fuse adhesive on there. Oh, I lied. Before you do your fast fuse adhesive, you want to take our new corner trio punch and just line that up in between both sides of the punch, and we're going to punch this little piece out. And whew, I lucked out. Really do that before the adhesive. Okay, so now we've got all the holes we need for our different ribbons. So I'm going to just put the pointy end in, and once I get the end through, I'm going to press that onto my adhesive. And then repeat with the other side. Then we're going to bring in our backpack. Here's our other ribbons. These are going to go through this piece right here. So we're going to bring them through what'll be the front to the side with the adhesive, and then we'll just stick that down and then repeat with the other one. Now both sides are stuck to the adhesive. Now I need to add a little bit more of the fast fuse over the top of that ribbon, so this little flap will stick to the backpack. So I'm going to pinch my backpack, bring up my flap. I'm lining up the score line with the top of the box, and once I have it where I want it, I'll give it a nice squish. And then we have our backpack flap, the little holder, and the straps in the back. Cute. All right, now we need to make the little pocket that goes on the front. So we'll set that aside. I've made my pocket out of the Neutrals designer paper stack. So it's got all the neutral colors and these fun patterns. This one's basic black, and I'm going to show you another piece so you can really see how this is scored. So the piece of paper is 4 inches by 2 3/4. Then I scored it at 1/4, 1/2, 3/4, 3 1/4, 3 1/2, 3 3/4. Turned it, scored it at 2 inches, 2 1/2 inches, 2 3/4. And then you're going to take your snips and cut away at an angle on either side of that scored line the corners. We don't need all of that, so just snip those away, okay? And then you want to fold on your score lines what we call peak, valley, peak. So it kind of looks like a little mountain on all 3 sides, okay? Like so. Then we're going to glue the bottom one on first. So I'll bring in my backpack and my green glue. Again, the green glue is going to work best here because it's going to give me a little bit of wiggle so I can get this on my backpack where I want it. You know, I want it centered between my stamped lines. So with that green glue, I have an opportunity to fix it if per chance I should mess up. So rub that in place when you get it where you want it. Then we'll open it and put some adhesive on the side pieces. Okay, then we will adhere that. Oh, these side flaps being tricky with me. Okay, and then adhere those, and you've got your little pocket. It also needs a flap. The flap for this pocket is 3 inches by 1 1/4, and I scored it at 3/4 of an inch. And I'm gonna round the corners with my Project Life corner rounder so it matches what's going on the top flap. And then again, we need to trim these down so it's gonna sit in snugly on the top of the pocket. And then I embossed this image, the School Days pencil, also from the same stamp set, the Seasonal Life Snapshot. See there? With white embossing powder. And then I just took my chalk marker and drew the little squiggle there. So what we want to do is fold this on its scored line. I like to use my bone folder right here. I don't want it to stick out too far, otherwise it'll be harder to get into the little place that I'm adhering it. Okay, so a little bit of green glue. Now you're going to set this in the pocket, and just be careful when you're setting it down that you don't smear glue to the back of the backpack. Get that straight and press it into place by holding the inside of the backpack. So our backpack's coming along. We just need to dress it up a little bit. So we're going to take a button from the Regals collection. I tied a little bit of baker's twine on there. The Regals collection has the garden green button, which matches perfectly with this flap because it's also garden green. All right, so we just press that on with a mini glue dot. We'll do our Velcro. Now I have these little sheets of Velcro. You can really find this really thin like Velcro at most any craft store. So I'm going to take a piece and stick it to my flap, and then I'll take the matching scratchy piece, Velcro them together, squeeze my box and press that so the Velcro sticks there, and we'll repeat that with the small pocket. I'll bring back in the finished one and show you that I have a red glimmer heart to finish it off. It needed a little bit of red with my kind of school colors going on here. I was inspired here by the chalkboards that used to be green, so that's what inspired that. And then I kind of feel like it's a Charlie Brown backpack. The yellow with the black zigzag reminds me of his shirt, and the new Peanuts movie's coming out soon, so that's what inspired me. So I hope you have fun with this and make some backpacks. I feel that the kids get so much attention with the new school supplies and new clothes that I'm going to put some chocolate in this and give it to my fellow parents that teach in our homeschool co-op and give them a boost as we're just getting the school year underway. So happy stamping, and leave me a comment and let me know what you think. Thanks. Bye.